All right, let's get right into it. There is a huge battle happening right now, and it's not on some far-off battlefield. It's happening behind your screen for control of what might be the single most important piece of software you use every single day, your web browser. And a tiny but very bold startup just made a move that has the entire tech world buzzing.
But before we get into the details, let me just ask you something. How much do you think the front door to the entire internet is worth? I mean, the main gateway that billions of us use to work, to shop, to learn every single day. What's the price tag on that?
Well, a 3-year-old AI startup called Perplexity, they have an answer. They made an unsolicited, all-cash offer to Google for $34.5 billion to buy its Chrome browser. We're talking about an offer for a product that isn't even officially for sale.
And just to put into perspective how audacious this is, just look at these numbers. Perplexity, which is valued at around $18 billion, is offering nearly double its own worth for a single product from a $2 trillion giant. I mean, it is the absolute definition of a David versus Goliath move.
So yeah, the immediate reaction from a lot of people, like this user of Run Wall Street Bets, was that this has to be a joke, right? Just a massive, headline-grabbing marketing ploy. And, maybe it is. But what if it's also a brilliantly strategic move? What if it's timed perfectly to take advantage of a rare moment of weakness for the biggest company on the internet? To get that, we need to understand why Chrome might even be on the auction block in the first place.
To really get how this is even possible, we don't start in a tech boardroom. We have to start in a courtroom, because this whole thing is about Google being on trial.
The entire case really hinges on something called antitrust law. And put simply, these are just the rules that are designed to keep the marketplace fair. They're there to stop one company from getting so powerful that it can just crush all its competition, limit your choices as a consumer, and basically control an entire industry. And as you can see from this timeline, we've actually been here before. This is not the first browser war. Way back in 2001, Microsoft had to deal with a very similar case over Internet Explorer. Now, it's like history is repeating itself with Google. A judge has already ruled they have an unlawful search monopoly, and the final decision on the punishment, what they call the remedies, is expected pretty soon.
Okay, so this is the crucial point. The Department of Justice is arguing that Google uses its control over Chrome, the world's most popular browser, to illegally protect its dominance in search. And what's their proposed solution? Forcing Google to sell Chrome. This legal threat, that's the crack in the armor that makes Perplexity's wild offer suddenly seem plausible.
But this story is so much bigger than just a court case, because at the exact same time that Google is under attack legally, there's a technological revolution happening that threatens to make its entire business model obsolete. So welcome to the new search wars. For, 2 decades now, search has meant one thing. You type a question, Google gives you a list of 10 blue links. Simple. But this new model, which is powered by generative AI, is completely different. You ask a question, and an answer engine like Perplexity doesn't give you links, it gives you a direct, synthesized answer.
And this massive shift is happening in 3 key ways. First, Google itself is putting AI overviews right at the top of its results. Second, you've got these new AI assistants like ChatGPT and Perplexity that are becoming the first place people go for info, completely bypassing Google. And third, AI doesn't just look for keywords anymore, it understands concepts and context, which totally changes the rules of the game for everybody.
This creates a huge risk for basically the entire web, and it's called disintermediation. Think about it. If you ask for a recipe and an AI just spits out the ingredients and the steps by summarizing some food blog, why would you ever need to click through to that blog? For websites that depend on that traffic for their ad money, this is a huge threat. Their value gets used, but they get cut out of the loop. Which brings us right back to our central question. In this world where search is being turned upside down and the old giants are vulnerable, why on earth would a tiny AI startup want to buy a browser? Well, because the browser has become the new front line in the war for AI dominance. And it's just like this quote from Mentz says, "Browsers aren't just passive windows to the web anymore. No, they are quickly evolving into the main channel for how all of us are going to interact with AI." See, owning the browser gives you 2 incredibly powerful things. First, it's a direct on-ramp to billions of users, which gives you distribution that's basically impossible to get otherwise. And second, it is the ultimate source of data. Seeing what people search for, what they read, what they buy, that is the rocket fuel you need to train and perfect your AI models. And just look at the prize. This is Chrome's current market share. We're talking about almost 68% of all internet users worldwide. For an AI company, getting Chrome isn't just buying a product, it's buying immediate global dominance. It's a massive shortcut to becoming the default way the world gets information.
And the future vision here is something called an agentic browser. This means you won't just be clicking links, you'll give commands in plain English, like book me the cheapest flight to Paris for next weekend. The browser's AI agent would actually understand that, plan the steps, and then do the whole task for you. It becomes a real personal assistant for your digital life.
So, with Google on trial and AI completely reshaping search, where does this high-stakes battle for the browser actually leave us, the users?
Perplexity's huge bid might be a long shot, but they are not alone in this thinking. We learned from court testimony that OpenAI, the company that made ChatGPT, also looked into buying Chrome. Even the old search giant Yahoo has apparently expressed interest. So this isn't just one company's crazy idea, it's a clear signal from the whole industry that owning the browser is the key to winning the next era of the internet.
And this chart really gets to the heart of the conflict. On one side, you have Google, an advertising behemoth whose entire business depends on you clicking links. And on the other side, you have Perplexity, an AI-native challenger whose model is built on giving you direct answers, no clicks necessary. This is a clash of business models, and really a clash of philosophies for the future of information.
So in the end, Perplexity's bid for Chrome, whether it's a brilliant strategic play or just a PR stunt, it forces all of us to think about a really fundamental question. Is the future of finding things online about searching through a long list of links? Or is it just about asking for and getting a direct answer? The outcome of that battle is going to define the next chapter of the internet.